All right, everybody, welcome into the second stream of the day for yours truly. Hi, I'm Pugs Moran. This is one of two streams, as I was saying, that we do here on the Radio Misfits podcast and streaming platform. Find all of the most interesting and entertaining podcasts that you could ever want to find right there on Radio Misfits, radiomisfits.com. All right, sorry, I just got out of the shower. Whoa. This is Pugs and Parker, by the way. This is what we do at 9 o'clock every night. Hi, John. John's in Denver. Look at him. He's out there. He's our jet-setting guy. He's coming from a different place almost every time. Sorry. I mean, I literally just sat down. I toweled off. We got Byron. We got John. I toweled off, shaved my head. And now I'm here. So let me get settled here. Okay, this is Pillow Talk. We do this every Monday through Thursday night, 9 o'clock, for about an hour, sometimes a little bit longer, but Parker can promise us an hour. And then I do a thing called High Noon. That's at noon every day, and we run through all the topics of the day, everything that's happening. We get into it and, try to get y'all prepped up so you're not running around, bumping into things, not knowing what the hell is happening. Let's bring Parker in here. It's Parker. Look at him. There he is. Hold on. Okay. There we go. How you doing today? How you doing?
I am well, sir. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Were you worried? Because you were ready to go before I was. It's like I sat down and there was nobody here. I don't know what you can see.
Oh, no, dude. I'm the king of showing up at the last second.
Okay. Well, I beat you today. I showed up at the last second. I had a lot to do today. I don't know if April is in the house. When April, if we see April pop up today, remind me, because I've got something I need to say to April.
An April-related message?
Just a personal little thing for April. Just a little something for her. Okay. Oh, you know what? Forget about it. I don't care. If I see her, I'll just re-mention it. So, well, that's too loud. I don't like the way that sounds. That's hurting Daddy's ears. So it's Charlie Day's birthday today. Charlie Day.
I love that guy.
Oh, right? I mean, isn't he just like the best?
In everything he does. And he's not just the same guy in everything. He actually has a little bit of variation, but not much.
A little bit. But he's tremendous at playing a guy that's just like a half second behind everybody else. That's what he is the best in the world at being.
But when they did Horrible Bosses, he wasn't playing like a Fantasyland whimsical character like Always Sunny. He had to be believable. And when he had to be believable, he was believable. Like Zach Galifianakis has never been believable in anything. Right? He
plays the same character. He's pretty much a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Which, we said about Jim Carrey. And then, Jim Carrey ended up doing the Truman Show. So watch Zach Galifianakis in a couple of years do that thing that all comedic actors do.
They don't all pull it off.
Well, yeah, I mean, but most of them do pull it off. I mean, I don't know. Adam Sandler certainly pulled it off if you've seen Punch Drunk Love or that recent one that he did with the Diamonds. And nobody plays a dumber character in his, hardcore film library than Adam Sandler.
Yeah, like Waterboy and Billy Madison.
Yeah.
But the other one where he did with Jennifer Aniston where they were the Italian Job or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Was he bad in that?
It was a Netflix movie. No, he was really good in that, and he was not a goofy character. He was a believable dude.
So the first guy that I remember doing this, I mean, I'm sure that there were more. I'm sure that, there were guys in the 30s who were comedians who made dramatic turns in the 40s. But the first guy that I remember doing it was Robin Williams. Nobody ever thought that he could. And I think the first one that he did was Dead Poets Society. Robin Williams was like, he was that guy. And then all of a sudden he does Dead Poets Society and people are like, oh my God.
Okay, so I think before him, we saw both Tom Hanks make the transition and Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was not an action star when he started. He was the wacky kind of, I'm the cool friend. I'm Sybil Shepherd's alter ego in Moonlight or Yin to Her Yang because she's the uptight businesswoman and
smaller degrees. So smaller degrees.
Bad examples.
Yeah, not bad. Just but smaller degree of what we're talking about. Like Bruce Willis has never maybe he has, but Bruce Willis so far has not been like, oh, he's going to win an Oscar for that dramatic role. He's never had that moment yet where all of these
Okay.
other guys have. And Tom Hanks, he was never totally wacky. Even in like Bachelor Party, Tom Hanks was the sort
He
of
was.
normal guy with all this craziness going on around him.
I don't know. When's the last time you watched Bachelor Party?
It's been a while. Yeah,
Because
you're right.
he's yeah. And
I'll
then
give
on
you
top of
the,
that, Big, he had to, be the
that's light
whimsical
comedy.
overacting.
Big and Splash. Splash was a romantic comedy. I mean, it wasn't like
But
Zach
then he did.
Galifianakis is a lunatic. When he does a dramatic turn, it's going to be like, whoa. I'll give you another one that I just thought of. Michael
Okay.
Keaton. Michael Keaton.
Yes.
When Michael Keaton did Clean and Sober, that was like right off of Beetlejuice. And it was like, oh my God, he's like doing a real serious addiction movie where he's dramatic. And then he won an Oscar for Birdman. Michael Keaton has shown that he can do dramatic. He's so good in Dope Sick. I want him to go back to like the Michael Keaton of Beetlejuice and Night Shift, where he played
And
Billy
Multiplicity.
Blade. Multiplicity, where the clones, Mr. Mom, I'd
Pretty
like
dumb, yeah.
Because
Yeah, Mr. Mom, that's right. Yeah,
But
but
he-
he is also a little known fact about something else you and I have in common is he's our Batman.
He is our Batman. He is. I rate him as the number one Batman.
Same
here.
here.
I find that a lot of people don't disagree with me. He,
I think I've only met like 4 people that say that. Me, you, and 2 other people.
2 other people in between our ages who remember like the original Batman. He was a great Batman. I made a list of Batmans, and I think I've had him first. I think I gave Christian Bale second, and I think I had Val Kilmer third. And then the rest were just like, well, what are you going to do? Clooney? Are you kidding me?
No. Clooney was horrible. Val Kilmer was a letdown. I was expecting too much, though. I mean, he was coming off of Doc Holliday. Yeah, he was okay, but I think I even like Ben Affleck better than Val Kilmer.
I don't dislike Ben Affleck, but if you're making me make a list, like Ben Affleck, people throw shit at Ben Affleck for being Ben Affleck. And it's like, he's not a terrible Batman. I don't know why you people are shitting all over him. He's not a terrible
Batman. I thought he was a good Batman.
I'm actually interested in what Robert Pattinson is going to do as the Batman, as a younger. But here, tell me if you think this observation is dead on. The Batman that Val Kilmer played, I think, was more in tone with the Chris Nolan Dark Knight Batman. Like Val Kilmer played Batman, like Michael Keaton's Batman was kind of charming. And, he had a bit of a roguish kind of, bit about him. George Clooney played him just straight charming, where it was like, what is Cary Grant Batman now? It's like he went that way. But Val Kilmer was the first one to play him a little bit dark. A little bit, and then Christian Bale sort of took that and ran with it. This new one is supposed to be really dark, though. The Batman, Robert Pattinson, he's supposed to be the most brooding of the Batman, which will be a nice. Danny McBride, Jefferson Glenn Wright III points out that Danny McBride would make a good Batman.
Which one's Danny McBride?
Danny McBride, Eastbound and Down.
Okay. That's Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers.
Oh my God, that'd be great. Dude, he's one of my favorite TV characters of all time. I had to introduce my brother-in-law to him like a couple weeks ago. And if you pull up like a highlight reel, just a compilation of all his little one-offs,
YouTube
holy
stuff.
Lord, you will die for 7 minutes laughing. There's so much gold, so many punchlines in that dude.
I've been holding off on introducing my 12-year-old son to Kenny Powers because I think Kenny Powers might be a little bit
too influential. Yes.
13, 14. I'll be more comfortable showing my kid Kenny Powers. However, my son has recently discovered The League and he likes Rafi. And that's
good. I love Rafi.
Jason
and Dirty Randy. Yeah.
Yeah. Seth Rogen as Dirty Randy. So maybe he's all right. Maybe he's good to go with Kenny Powers. I don't know. He discovered the real vulgar, over the top comedy on his own.
He's too young because he talks too much about specific sex acts and
more
drugs.
than Rafi. More than Rafi from The League.
Okay, probably not.
Who wants to see my dick? I mean, that's kind of
somebody's getting herpes. Yeah, that's a Rafi line.
Those are all Rafi lines. Dirty Randy was a pornographer, So okay, but yeah, that's an interesting conversation. When will Zach Galifianakis make the dramatic turn and shock everybody? I bet he can do it.
You should mark this and cut it out and put it in a little folder on the side because he's going to do it. That's a great prediction.
Yeah. They all will. Actually, I don't.
They want to. They all want to. Everybody wants to feel legit, and they have range. They're not just some one-off.
Do you like Zach Galifianakis?
Oh, dude, he is incredibly brilliant.
Okay, good. So we're on the same page.
The interviews, the piano, the acting, the improv.
Baskets was hysterical.
Yes.
Dry hysterical. Like, there are people who don't have very well developed senses of humor who watch Baskets and are like, I didn't get that. Like, I turned a girl onto it and I was like, oh, yeah, I love this show, Baskets. You should watch it. She's like, I just don't get it. Is it a comedy? I'm like, yes, it's a comedy. What do you mean? Is it a comedy? So my thought on Zach Galifianakis is he seems so non-traditional in the way that he approaches his comedy that I wonder if he ever wants to brag. Like, I wonder if he has any desires to do a dramatic turn, because I bet you he would be great at it, because he has this dry sort of serious tone even in his comedy. That's what's so funny about it. Like, is he serious? Are we taking this guy serious? So I don't know. But, if history is any judge, yeah, at some point he'll play Romeo.
I think he would be incredibly good at a dramatic role, because most of 90% of the time he is not smiling, and it adds to the humor of the situation that he's always making a straight face or an angry face, or he just got punched in the face, like Mike Tyson punches him out, or the Ken Jeong jumps out the trunk and kicks his ass. Like, he's always upset or pissed, or for a guy that's supposed to be messed up.
Straight. That's his humor.
He does not. He smiles rarely.
He does the most absurd things and finds himself in the most absurd situations, and he plays them straight. And that's what's so funny about it. Like, why aren't you laughing about this? Why are you? Who's another interesting one, since we got off on this little path? Will Ferrell. Has Will Ferrell attempted drama yet? He's done some movies that were panned because they weren't that fun. He's got a new show where he does drama. Are you familiar with this new TV show? But I haven't watched it yet. Like the Psychiatrist Next Door or something. It's him and Paul Rudd and somebody else, and it's a dark drama. It's like on Apple TV or something. I'm not sure what it is. Anyway, I'm going to say, Will Ferrell be another one. Interesting to see if he ever pulls the drama thing. Belushi pulled the drama cord way too early in his career, which actually turned out to be good because he died way too early in his career. So at least he had the drama thing done when he did Continental Divide. All right. Hey, what do you say? What do you say? Do a little monologue here for us, James?
Sure thing, Pugs.
All right, let's get a monologue. Here he is. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Comfort Nest Lounge high atop the One Percenter compound in beautiful, and I mean beautiful, 73 degrees today here in sunny Highland Park, Texas. He is a comedy sensation, a household name known all around the globe, James Herman Parker. I'm running out of middle names for you.
How? I could be James Fauci Parker.
I don't. It can be, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying not to trigger you. Go ahead.
Right. I don't have a trigger. The Biden administration is going to be providing free crack pipes to drug addicts. You hear about this new program he has? It's not just for Hunter either. It's like for other. It's like
the same joke you did yesterday.
It was close to it.
Why can't it be for Don Jr. too? Don Jr.'s a big cokehead, but go ahead, continue.
Well, he can get a free crack pipe too. I'm not against that. In England, a 30-year-old drug dealer was caught with cocaine hidden between his buttocks. I believe this is known as crack cocaine.
Oh, come on. Come on, he's working hard for his money up here. Come on, people.
It's a bad pun. I get it. All right. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy announced that the school mask mandate will end March 7th, but I feel sorry for the kids. They still have to live in New Jersey. So.
That's right. New Jersey jokes. Timeless.
That place really does smell.
I've only been there briefly once.
The great face mask debate rages on. Comedian Jay Leno spoke up. He said he doesn't like wearing masks because they make his chin look big.
Oh, come on. Who? All the kids. Who's Jay Leno?
The guy with the big chin. According to a new study, seniors who have active social lives live longer. Unfortunately, it's hard to be socially active when your friends are all dead.
Oh, that's rough, but it's true. So people, it's
Painful.
connected. It's true.
That was from the ghost of Norm Macdonald. In Ohio, a 24-year-old female teacher was arrested for doing sex with a 17-year-old male student. The boy said he feels bad that she's behind bars, but hopefully as he matures, he'll realize it was totally worth it. And finally, happy birthday to actor Joe Pesci. I don't want to say he's getting old, but he's got a new film they're shooting right now. It's called Old Fellas.
Oh, look at that. Oh. Didn't need a map to see that joke coming. Hi-oh.
Oh, man, you got to stop with the hi-yos and the ricochet, man.
Never
Makes a bad joke even worse.
Never going to stop with that. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here's your moment of joy. And I don't like to do this is not, look, this is not, please, this is not political. This is just a moment of joy. This is just so silly and so funny. James, are you a big fan of the Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Love her.
Okay, well, here she was on TV tonight.
Not only do we have the DC jail, which is the DC gulag, but now we have Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police spying on members of Congress, spying on the legislative work that we do, spying on our staff, and spying on American citizens. Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police spying on members of Congress.
Come on.
See, the hard part is since that's a real word, the spell check's not going to pick it up. So she's reading that off the script, and I don't know if she wrote it or like one of her little writers wrote it for her, but that's not going to get picked up with a little squiggly line under it because it's a real word.
Oh my God. I mean, even though I don't think she is the brightest bulb in the chandelier, I did not see that coming.
That's funny.
It's funny. And honestly, not for nothing, but she's been one of the most consistent critics of the Biden minestrone.
I love it. I love it. I don't know.
Hey, I have a question for her, though. When the gazpacho police come and get her, do they throw her in the goulash?
Oh, man.
I got him. I've been writing these all night. But seriously, folks, I'm surprised she doesn't show up on TV wearing a Vichy sticker. Oh, I blew that one.
I don't even know what you're going to say.
Vichy swastika. See, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a bad one. I don't know. Look, end of the day, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I just find her to be a big fat borscht. We're doing cold soup.
This is awesome. Yeah.
I got no more. That's all I can write. That's all I got. I had to pull up cold soups, and those were all the ones that came up.
I just don't know that many Italian dishes, man. So I'm at a disadvantage here. Like I couldn't think of a linguine punchline or something.
I can't believe that I stumbled on the Vichy swastika. I thought that was a strong one. Vichy swash is a cold French soup. I
have no idea what that is. Wouldn't it have to stay Italian?
So no, cold soups. Cold soups. That's what we're going with. The Russian cold soup borscht. I find her to be a big fat borscht.
Right. Okay.
I was right there. I started it out with I went Nazi. I'm like, oh, is there a Nazi joke? And then I went, man, I do not see that coming. Oh, Jesus, these things just all write themselves. But you raise an interesting point that I did not think of, and you came to it instantly. And that is, she was probably reading that off a teleprompter. And so, I mean, I think we're all running around going, oh my God, this woman doesn't know what Gestapo is. And she only knows the word gazpacho, which is a cold soup. And she's just dumb. But you're right. She actually may have been reading that off a teleprompter, which would mean that although she is a bit who's the Will Ferrell character in Anchorman who will read anything you put on.
Ron Burgundy. Oh man.
Even though
No, I recognize that because I've done that on TV from a teleprompter. I've Ron Burgundied myself a few times.
So she may have Ron Burgundy herself, and it may have been the person who fed the script into the teleprompter who wrote the word wrong. So I mean, I guess we're not 100% sure that she thinks that, you know, the gazpacho was Hitler's secret police.
Yeah, well, I don't think she thinks that, but
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past her, man. I would not put it past her.
No, I wouldn't put it past her. But you heard how bad my monologue just was, and I'm reading that.
Yeah. Yeah, you do a good job on that. Okay. I don't know if you have anything really quick, but
I do.
Well, hold on. The big news going around today is that we do have a cause of death for Bob Saget. Apparently, you know, it's funny because just today I was talking about how
I predicted drugs.
It's been 4 months since Anthony Johnson, who was an actor from Fridays and House Parties and, you know, those movies from back in the 90s. He died, and it's been 4 months since he died. And we just got the toxicology today, which said that he died of chronic alcoholism. It poisoned his body, ethanol poisoning or whatever it was. And I said, I'm like, yeah, I go, look, folks, it takes forever to get these things. And then like a couple hours, and I said, Bob Saget, we're not going to find out till like June what killed Bob Saget. And then here it is today.
Okay, so Anthony Johnson was Ezel the crackhead in Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he died of an overdose, huh? The crackhead from Friday.
Well, he didn't die of an overdose. No.
On alcohol?
No, not an overdose of alcohol. He died of a prolonged 30-year alcohol bender that eventually poisoned his liver and his organs shut down. Ethanol poisoning is what it was, or at least that's how I read it. That he'd been sick from alcohol for a long time, and then he just died. How much do you have to drink? Because I know people who drink a lot and have drank a lot for decades, and they seem fine, you know, other than the fact that they're drunk every night. They go to work. They don't show any signs of organ failure at noon. You know what I mean? So he's got to be.
He died at age 55. That's way too young.
Well, not to top that, and we've got another death we got to talk about. But first, let's get to the Bob Saget stuff.
Oh, yeah, Bob Saget. I'm sorry about
that. Bob Saget died of a brain bleed. He didn't die of a heart attack or a stroke. He hit his head. They're saying they think on the backboard, the bedboard, and he didn't think it was that serious of a hit, and he just went to sleep, and he died of a brain bleed in his sleep, which sounds like a pretty peaceful way to go. It sounds all right. Bob Saget did not die of a heart attack or a stroke, which authorities believed was the case. We've learned the cause of death was more shocking and tragic. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ after checking into the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Orlando on January 9th, he hit his head on something. We're told authorities don't know what object he hit, possibly the headboard of the bed, but there was an obvious bruise on the back of his head. Authorities now believe Bob did not know the severity of the injury and got under the covers and went to sleep. We're told he never woke up and he died from a brain bleed. Yikes. That is
kind of a nice way to go, though.
It is. It is a tragic way to go that he didn't recognize the severity of his head. Head injuries are serious, man. I've had a number of head injuries, and you don't go to sleep after a head injury. You bang your head. You got to stay up for a couple hours. You got to force yourself to stay up because there'll be. I don't want to, I'm not talking out of school here. Our very own Kelly experienced this just in the last 2 years. She hurt herself on, I believe, a treadmill or a stair climber. She fell and she hit her head, and she just ignored it, and she went back home. And it was later that night where she was talking to her husband, Jeff, and he noticed that she was slurring her words and that half of her face was drooping down, and she was suffering from a brain bleed. She was rushed to a hospital in Houston where they had to do brain surgery, and they had to fix her brain. It was very serious for a couple of days. She's made a full recovery. I'm sure she'll tell us about it once she gets back in the mood to come on here and join us. But yeah, it was really serious. And had she gone to sleep, she probably would have died in her sleep. But her husband noticed that half of her face was, dead, and that she was slurring her words. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And so that happened.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I kind of feel bad that I said Bob Saget probably OD'd, but then again, I think Bob Saget wouldn't be offended by that, and he would probably prefer to have OD'd rather than died from smacking his head.
You said you were shocked about the death of Anthony Johnson at 55. Well, we had another death today. This one shocked me. When I saw this start to trend a couple hours ago, I was like, "Oh my God, this dude's younger than me." Major League Baseball star Jeremy Giambi dies at 47 years old. Jeremy, of course, the younger brother of Jason Giambi, the Giambi brothers, who were a couple of, I'd like to say they were a wrecking crew, but they weren't real. I mean, Jason was the really good one. Jason, but Jeremy, he was also an Oakland A, and he was a home run guy, and died at 47 years old. And I mean, you want to be careful about these things. I'd say 99% of all of the stories that are circulating do not mention a cause of death. However, TMZ and the Daily Mail UK are reporting that it was a suicide. Now, this is interesting because what everybody is saying is that he died in his parents' California home, which is like, well, wait a second. Jeremy Giambi, I mean, he ran baseball clinics. He doesn't have to live with his parents at 47. He's a pro baseball player for a bunch of years. Or maybe he does. I don't know. But my first thought was he died at his parents' home. Well, had he been sick for a period of time? Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe we just didn't know. It wasn't public that he was suffering from cancer or something. And, when that happens, maybe you die at your parents' home. But no, the Sun and TMZ are reporting that he died of suicide this morning. So maybe things were going really, really bad for 47-year-old Jeremy Giambi. Now, I will caution that I'm getting this news from the Daily Mail UK, who in the story say that his brother, Jason Giambi, was a 5-time MVP. When I read that, I went, wait, what? Jason Giambi was not a 5. Has there ever been a 5-time? I don't think Mickey Mantle or Joe DiMaggio was a 5. No, Willie May. There were no 5-time MVP. Are there any? Is there a 5-time? So it's the UK and they don't know baseball. And I'm like, well, Jason Giambi was probably an MVP in like 99 or 2000, 2001 at the height of his career. I mean, I could totally see that, but not a 5-time. So, the newspaper that's saying it's a suicide also says his brother was a 5-time MVP. So take that for what it's worth. I did then also find that TMZ is also saying it was a suicide. So,
oh, that is so awful. What is with that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be rough, man. His brother was just a couple years older than him, and his brother was like such a stud and such a superstar and all that. And then the brother comes up, and all
right, bro. Here,
good.
I don't look it up. No,
Okay.
no cheating.
Okay.
There is one guy that has 5 MVP awards. In fact, he has 7.
7 MVP awards. Yeah, Major League Baseball. Okay. Would this be what I would consider the modern era of Major League Baseball, which is 1970 till today?
Which is since color TV.
Okay, so it's the modern era. 5-time.
That's my border between the old era and the current era. Had they invented color yet?
Okay. 5-time MVP, color TV.
He's a 7-time MVP.
7-time MVP.
Mm-hmm.
It can't possibly be a pitcher. So let's say, is it Barry Bonds?
Yeah, it is Barry Bonds. Fantastic.
Well,
first guess.
Well, I knew that he had like 3 or 4. I knew that he had multiple MVPs. But
okay, well, there's 5 guys, 6 guys, 7, 8 guys with 3, 9 guys with 3, 10 guys with 3.
And then he's got 7.
Yeah.
And he's not allowed to be in the Hall of Fame.
And he shouldn't.
Yes, he should.
Well, I mean, I'm pro steroids, but if he's the only one that gets to do them.
Well, here's the thing. Barry Bonds was in the Hall of Fame years before. If you put his career into two chapters, the chapters before steroids, and then the stuff that he started to do to prolong his career,
Because it's incredibly noticeable.
he was
Because
already in the Hall of Fame. He was already
okay,
in the Hall of Fame before he ever did steroids.
no, that is so true that he had two careers, and you can tell by his MVP awards. He won it in 1990, 92, and 93. He won 3 out of 4 there in that first little stint with the Pirates. He fell off. He didn't win another one until 2001, and then he won in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
Yeah, those are the steroid years. Those are the early.
Yes, and when you have an 8-year gap between your MVP streaks, something's up. You don't just all of a sudden get better when you're 35.
I still think all those guys should be in the Hall of Fame because there's absolutely no way to know what some of the players from the previous eras of baseball were doing. I mean, there's always been enhancements that they've used. Look, in the 70s and in the 60s, half of the bases that were stolen by guys who were on either speed, straight up speed, amphetamines, or cocaine. I mean, those are definitely enhancements, especially, come on, if you're stealing a base and you are wired up on coke, yeah, you're gonna have that's gonna be an advantage to you. You're gonna just be hustling like maybe a normal guy wouldn't. You'd be able to tap into a gear. So I think that's all bullshit. And also if it's a moral thing, and I think we've talked about this before. And look, I'm a big baseball fan.
Moral thing, yeah.
Because that's what they say. It's the morals of the game. Well, then kick Ty Cobb out. Ty Cobb murdered someone. I mean, that is a fact. He was never charged because he was Ty Cobb. Because back then they didn't have social media. So no one was going to cancel him. But Ty Cobb murdered a guy. I mean, it was like, it's all right. Come on to spring training. I mean, nobody's going to mention it. He's like, but I did. I killed the guy. Yeah. So, and that's not even... Come on. You want to dip into Babe Ruth, what he was doing? Come on. Stop it. So, yeah, I think Barry Bonds deserves it. 7 times. Wow. 7-time MVP.
Yeah, and the number 2 is 3. The person with the second most has 3 MVPs.
Who's that? Modern era?
It's a pretty good split here. Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, Mike Schmidt. I wouldn't have guessed that. Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, Roy Campanella, Stan Musial, Joe DiMaggio.
How many MVPs does Roy Campanella have? Because that kind of ruins. He's only got 3. How many does Willie Mays have?
I don't see Willie Mays. Let me go down here.
Because Willie Mays, it was always said that Willie Mays would have won the MVP every year, but baseball writers back then were racist.
Oh, Willie Mays has 2.
Okay, they decided to stop giving Willie Mays MVPs, kind of the way they stopped giving them to Jordan and LeBron in this era, because even though they were the best players, they started to look extra hard around at somebody else. Like, let's give somebody else. That's kind of what happened to Willie Mays. All right, that's all I got. Those are my deaths and my moment of joy. What do you have?
China is totally cheating at the Olympics. Totally front to back in like 10 different ways. And I was counting it up today. Have you heard all the cheating stories?
No, give them to me.
Okay, first off, at the Olympic Village, they're supposed to provide them, it doesn't have to be like luxurious 5-star accommodations, but they're supposed to give them like enough calories to perform their sport, and they're not. Like the meals and the portions are so small. They're like, dude, I burned 6,000 calories before noon.
Right. You're giving me
I can't live off of this. And like some of them have like, well, I have a gluten allergy, so I can't eat any of the noodles, and that's half the meal. And it's like all mixed together. So like I have to come up with other arrangements for food, but they're in a hermetically sealed COVID bubble. So it's hard to get stuff in and out. So you can't get warm food in and out. You can only get, like packaged food. Then there's no cooking. There's not a kitchen in your dormitory in Beijing. So they're kind of accusing him of cheating. And then they did something else real shady today. I think they did this after they jumped, but in one of the freestyle ski jumping events, or was it freestyle? It might have been one of the long ones. It was one of the jumping events. They disqualified 5 of the jumpers because they said your suit's too loose, because that's considered an advantage. It catches the wind and you can float a little further.
Okay.
And so, like the woman that was supposed to win, it's like it's a bunch of Nordic broads, like someone from Austria and Germany and Sweden and Norway and one from Japan, and like one of them was saying, "Bro, I've been doing professional ski jumping in international events for 11 years, and I've never been disqualified for having a loose suit. All of a sudden now, after 11 years, I'm just going to show up with a loose suit, and 4 other people are who have never been disqualified before. So they're knocking down. It sounded like they were knocking down some of the countries that were doing good in the medal count, because China wants to win the medal count. So who won the women's jumping event where the 5 chicks had the too loose of a suit? Some broad from Slovenia. Well, you don't have to worry about Slovenia overtaking the Chinese medal count, right? They'll let them get a gold. If China can't win the gold, they can't let other countries win. And it's these Nordic countries that pile it up in the Winter Olympics.
So, speaking, by the way, just I laughed there. I wasn't laughing at what you were saying, although I'm sure it was humorous. I'm laughing because I put it together. In the chat room right now, Jeff Glenn has been banned from Facebook. So he has created a fake persona. Jeff Glenn is now going by Jefferson Glenn Wright the third or the fourth. And I'm like, who is this person? This is a new person in the chat room. And then I'm like, oh shit, it's
Jeff Glenn. I see. Yeah, I'm a little slow on that.
It's just Jeff Glenn, who's been banned from Facebook, so he was forced to make a new Facebook profile.
How'd you get banned, Jefferson?
Oh, he's a shit talker supreme. He gets into it. Medal counts. So a couple days ago on the noon show, I did the medal count, and Russia was leading. Russia has had a bad couple of days. Russia is now in 9th place in the medal count. Germany is leading the medal count. China, who you said, I'm sure they want to win. I mean, who wouldn't want to win the medal count if you're hosting your own? China's in 5th place. So it's and we're in 6th place. We're not doing so great either. It's Germany in 1st, Norway in 2nd, and Sweden in 3rd. And those 3, you'd expect them to dominate Winter Olympics. Germany, Norway, and Sweden. I mean, those are countries that have winter all year round, right? I mean, they have mountains and they're always skiing. And
it's par for the course. These are the people who usually do well in the Winter Olympics, because they're all like basically in the Arctic Circle. We had this discussion about a month ago where I was pointing out people just don't realize how north Europe is, because New York is on basically the same latitude as Rome, and we all know Rome is not only at the southern part of Europe, it's dangling. Yeah, it's dangling off in a peninsula into the Mediterranean. It's as far south in the whole Europe as you can get. And so at the very tippy top of Europe, when you get up to Germany and Denmark and Sweden and Norway and Finland, bro, those people are very well acquainted with snow.
Oh, yeah.
And it's another thing we forget, too, is that, well, why didn't England do better? Well, England's kind of down here. England is, like London's sort of on a parallel with Berlin, so most of the Scandinavian world, those blonde-haired, blue-eyed giant people are above that line. And, man, I can't handle it when it's like 25 degrees. But these people, that's like swimming weather for these folks. They're crazy.
I'm pulling up the globe, as I'm looking at it. And hold on. Come on, Google, help me out here. Yeah, when we fly to Europe from the East Coast, we go up through Canada. We go up over Iceland. I mean, do you know what's like Maine? You know what's on the same? Okay, so I'm looking at the Earth right now. If you were to go straight across, that's too much. If you were to go straight across the ocean from Maine, do you know what you'd hit? Morocco. You'd hit Morocco. If you went straight across the ocean to Maine, just a straight line, just head it out.
Maine's above Morocco.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Go pull up the globe. Maine, Newfoundland. Yeah. So go straight across from where Maine is, and you hit Morocco in the south of Spain, Tunisia, North Africa. Europe is way further north.
Bro, you turn on your latitude lines. Can you do that?
Hold on. Yeah, I'm here. I'm looking at it. Yeah, I got this.
Put it on the screen. Let the people decide.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so, but hold on. Then I got to go to Google. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Yeah. Boy, this is fun. I'm sure this is. You know what?
Wait. I don't have to. I can
love
do it
Google
here.
Maps. No, I got it. Here, we're doing it.
Look,
Wait, what the hell? What'd you do? Did you do it quicker
I'm
than
doing
me?
it.
Okay,
Maybe
yeah,
so.
then you do
Yeah.
it. Dueling maps. You know what? No, fuck you. We're gonna do dueling maps. I'm gonna have my map too.
Let's do them both.
Yeah.
Add it to the mix, boss.
There we go. That looks nice. Let's close that out.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, let's see. Where's your map? Here's your map. Boom. We'll put your map up.
Geographical throwdown. All right, look, go straight across from Maine. What does that hit? That hits like France.
No, straight across. Here's Maine. This is the south of France, or this is Spain, and this is North Africa and Morocco. You go straight across from. I don't know if
you go straight across from the tippy top of Morocco, and you're hitting like North Carolina, which is still damn. That's halfway up the Atlantic coast, and we're in Africa. So hey, look at where we're at. We're this is so funny. You're so dumb.
Let's look at my map, shall we? Because I can at least do this. All right, so here's Maine, right? Right?
No, Maine's up, further up. That's not Maine. That's Maine. Yeah, that's Maine.
Okay, so if you go straight across to Maine, you're hitting the south of France. Okay, you're right. So here's Morocco. So Morocco is like
the tippy top, like Rock and Gibraltar, a little higher than that, a little higher.
South Carolina,
yeah, right there, North Carolina,
Virginia,
maybe Virginia, yeah,
something like that. But yeah, when you fly to Europe, you leave. Well, I mean, I've always left from New York or Chicago, so you fly straight up through Canada, right? You go all the way up north, and then boop, like here you are to Europe. It's very north.
Man, that is. Look how far north that is. Like the tippy bottom. I know it's tippy top. Tippy bottom of Norway is like uninhabitable in North America, whatever latitude that crap is.
Right.
Like Eskimos are like, man, that's too cold.
Yeah. In Iceland here, nobody in Iceland. That's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Iceland, but people are there because they don't want to be with all these people. They're there because living on a floating asteroid is basically better than hanging out with these people. I mean, it's not habitable, is what I'm saying. They've made the best of it. God love those people, but it is not this. It's not what we got going on down here.
Oh, look, Bob, without moving the map, he says, start at Miami, go straight south. Where do you hit South America? You hit it like Venezuela or Colombia.
Go straight south. Straight south. Okay, so here we go.
Oh, no, I was even more off. It's more like Panama, huh?
Yeah, you go straight to Panama. There you go. All right, that's fun. All right, let's get rid of the maps. We don't
okay, so China's cheating. They're not giving them enough calories, and this is for the people who are in the Olympic Village. I bet you they're giving their own athletes whatever the hell they want. There's been a lot of questionable judging going on in the events that can be judged, and that's a lot of like the half-pipe freestyle stuff where they're just judging. A lot of questions come up there. The flying suit thing where they disqualified just randomly 5 chicks that were doing too good. So do you put it beyond them that they would cheat?
No,
I think of course they're cheating.
Of course they would. Of course. Yeah. China cheats with everything. They cheat in every aspect of their existence. They are cheating people.
And it's funny. No. They are not a cheating people. They are a cheating government. The Chinese people themselves are honorable and disciplined, or at least when they come over here.
Are they?
Over here they are.
You have never spent time in a Chinatown in America. Now, man. That is some of the... No.
Tell me about Chinatown in America, because I haven't. I really haven't.
Okay. Chinatown in Chicago is known as being one of the most... I say gangster, but it's not like American gangsterism. The Chinese gangs, the Chinese cons, the Chinese, tourists get taken left and right when they visit Chinatowns, especially the one in Chicago. That's the one I'm familiar with. Restaurant. I mean, they're shady. It's like a shady. Oh God, here we go. Cancel me because I said the Chinese people in America are shady. Well, it's experience.
Okay, so where I grew up in Tyler, Texas, there's like 5 Chinese people, and they all work at the Panda Express. Like that's
and they're nice because they're outnumbered. They're not like in a community of their own where there's 100,000 of them.
So my only experience with like a community like that is in Dallas. we call it Sam Moon, but that's just one of the biggest shops there. There's that spot over at like Royal and Harry Hines or something
That's
like that.
Koreans, though. Those people are Koreans. That's
I
not
know,
Chinese.
but well, they have a little Chinese.
Same thing. Now you're canceled.
I know. Why we're dead, right? Give me the podium.
There's not a very big Chinese population in Dallas. There is no real Chinese community. There's a huge Vietnamese community, and there's a big Thai community, and there's a big Korean community. But there is not a large Chinese community in Texas.
And as sad as it sounds, that's as close as I've gotten.
It's like calling an Irishman a Scotchman.
Right.
You're looking for a fight there.
I know, but I'm just saying that's geographically speaking. Pull up the map. That's as close as I've gotten. But I went to college with some. But is it really different if they're segregated out and they're not in their own community? And
yeah, you try to fit in. You try to assimilate more. If you're outnumbered, yeah, absolutely. But when you have this massive community, the story. I love Chinatown in Chicago. My favorite Chinese restaurant in the world is Three Happiness. I mean, I take people there. Whenever we come to Chicago, I'm like, you want real Chinese food? He's like, oh, I love Chinese food. I'm a big Panda Express fan. No. I mean, do you want real Chinese food? I've taken probably 5 different sets of people to Three Happiness, and 2 of the people in these groups have said the exact same thing. This reminds me of the restaurant from Men in Black. You know, the restaurant in Men in Black where they have the aliens in the tanks in the back? In their
okay.
They serve there's dead animals hanging in the windows. You know, you walk in and there's like a goose hanging by its neck and fish, raw fish hanging there, and then they serve you things that are so preposterously disgusting looking that you couldn't. I mean, you would never. You'd be like, and then you taste it, and you're like, "Wow, that is actually really good." And that's why I like to take people there, because it is such a culture shock. But the reason, the Chinese populations in America are centered around where the railroads ran, because the initial Chinese immigrants came to this country to work on the railroad because they were willing to work very cheaply. So there are actually big Chinese populations in like Montana and Wyoming and places like that. The West Coast, where the railroad ended, like San Francisco and all of that, huge Chinese population, Asian in general in San Francisco.
Well, look, they're over there because when they push off from Asia, that's where their boats hit.
Yeah, but they spread out essentially in America along the railroad routes. And Chicago has a big Chinese population because that was the hub. That was the central hub of the railroad. So when you wanted to go, when you were in Montana, at the Golden Spike, where the 2 railroads met, you could either go west and go back to the place you entered from, or you could be adventurous and you could go to the end of the line, which was Chicago. So that's why Chicago has that. And then the railroads continued through, and that's why there's a big population in New York as well. But they didn't really come south. There were no railroads that they worked on in the south. So we don't have the Vietnamese, however, in the 1970s. You know why there's so many Vietnamese people in Texas and in Louisiana and in the south?
Yeah, because they were shrimpers, and that's where you go shrimping around here. Yeah,
that's exactly it. That they settled here when the Vietnam War, when all those people came over here, they settled in around the Gulfs, because that's what they knew. They were fishing people.
Those people are amazing, but that's not really representative of the Vietnamese people as a whole. These are the people that were like, I am not going to live under communism. I'm going to take my kids. We're going to set off on our boat, and we're just going to try and get into international waters and hope the Coast Guard picks us up, right?
We admire that in the Vietnamese, but not the Cubans.
Oh, I love that in the Cubans. Yeah, they make a boat out of trash and push off. The thing about the Cubans is we don't know how many families just got caught up in the Gulf Stream and just were whisked away into the Atlantic Ocean to die slow, awful attrition deaths.
90 miles of hell. That's what they call that. The shipping channel that runs between Miami and Cuba, 90 miles of hell. If you can make it on a raft, ooh.
So the other thing is China is doing the Olympics. They just did the Summer Olympics not that long ago. Why are they all over the Olympics? Well, they love the attention. They're trying to make their country look good. It's sort of like a public relations coup, if you will.
We are superior people in every aspect.
Right.
Every terrible culture that has at some point or another tried to take over the globe has followed this playbook. Whether it was Hitler with the 38 Olympics, the Russians
36 Olympics.
the 36th.
Yeah.
30, yeah. Well, okay. Sorry. Yeah. The 36 Olympics. The Russians during the Cold War, when their women were being beefed up on testosterone.
They had hairy backs, right?
Yeah, all that stuff.
I remember that was great.
And not for nothing, but look in the mirror. The United States. There was a time when we were all uber competitive in the Olympics as well. Well, during the Cold War, whether it was Bruce Jenner or Miracle on Ice or, any number of our champions. It's if you want to be the superpower of the world, it sort of goes hand in hand with the idea that you're going to be the best athletes.
All right. Well, I saw a picture that was being passed around Twitter, and it was one of these giant ramps where they have the snow downhill. Yeah, the jump, and it was like the triple one, and then there was one next to it that had the long one. And the picture of it's really cool because you forget how bright it is being around snow, because when you're actually with the sun and it just reflects off, it's almost like a mirror. It's absurdly bright. And so when it's on the camera, it just whites out that part of the image. And the stark contrast was disgusting when they zoomed out and showed you that this wasn't on the top of a pristine, beautiful mountain, with picturesque pine forests on both sides. And there's like a nice little dusting of snow. No, there's no snow to be seen. It looks like the opening scene from Wall-E, where the earth is inhabitable and there's just this brown, gray cloud of dust. Yeah. It looks like Oceania in 1984. Yeah, it does. Airstrip 1.
The ski jumping competitions. I'm surprised you didn't mention this. I thought this is what you were going to mention. They built the ski jumping hill on the site of a decommissioned nuclear power plant.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that why it looks like a hellscape?
Right behind them are these giant reactors.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like one of the most filthy pollution areas of China.
Dude, show Leslie the picture. She'll love it. Has she seen this? It's such a marvel, the desolate nuke plant behind it. Yeah, Bob's seen it.
Oh, what am I doing? Am I pulling up? Okay.
All wait. I see. I don't have to wait on you. I could do this.
How do you spell nuclear? All right, there we go. Nuclear plant. All right. Let's see if we can show this. Okay, images. Yeah, there it is. All right. Did you pull it up?
The one I pulled up sucks. There was like a zoomed up.
Here's a good one.
Zoomed out one that just really sets the stage, because it's beautiful white, pristine jump, and everything around it is just drab and scary as hell. Is that the right one?
Yeah, you see the new plants right back there.
Yeah, that's the one I'm finding.
Yeah, it's like a total piece of shit part of the country, but they're hoping people don't notice. They're hoping,
Dude, there's reports about the time we were born. They were like in the full-blown Maoist, one of his 5-year plans or whatever. And for a while there, whatever you wore in China is just what the one state clothing company made. And everyone wore like the same drab gray uniform every day for a couple decades. Like everyone wore gray clothes, and it was a variation of the same gray clothes. And people that have defected have told stories about that. It just doesn't sound real, but I think of that when I see the pictures of these towns and how they're all basically one color, and there's like 80 buildings that all have the same design that are made like right next to each other. I don't know. Central planning just looks so inorganic and
I can't get the big picture to look good. This is a good one. All right, this one will give you the full idea of what's this bullshit is all. Oh, but I'm not gonna be able to make it big. I can't make it big. All right. Here, look at this one. This is like a side view of it. Let's see if you can see that. All right, you see that? There's like look at the smokestacks in the nuclear.
Yeah. Okay. Good. No. I found the one I was looking for. Let's see if I can like full screen this. Hang on.
Yeah, they are. Leslie says China's all about hiding their faults. You know who else was like that? Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm. All
Soviet
right.
Union claimed that they never had a plane crash until their country fell apart, and we found all their documents about how hundreds of planes crashed every month in the Soviet Union.
All right. So now I got to switch it.
They also claimed that they never had, during the space race, that they never had a space disaster like the one that we had that killed Gus Grissom and the guys.
Yeah,
And
we know that's a big fat
yeah.
lie. All right,
Well,
now
we had tons of them. Their shit blew up all the time and people died, and they didn't say anything about it until 92 when we found out.
I found the one I was looking for. All right, share it, and then I'll scroll down. All right, so this is one view, and this is when it starts to zoom out. I don't know if they have. I think they probably have like drone footage, but when I scroll down, you'll see the second frame here. That is what I saw that freaked me out. That's the final frame of the zoom out. So it starts right there, and by the time you go to commercial, you're like, "What hellscape? This isn't real. This has to be a computer generated image.
Right.
There's no way. Like this is how people live."
It looks like an ashtray.
It's all one color too.
It's post-war Dresden. I mean,
yes, right.
That is not a place where you should hold the Olympics. That is awful.
Well, it's also like, dude, George Orwell is not an instruction manual. It's a cautionary tale.
How much did these SOBs pay off the International Olympic Committee?
Probably not that much. I mean, it's not like you have to spend billions to buy off the Olympic Committee.
Well, come on, man. I mean, there were other places.
What's your price, Pugs? Right.
There are a lot of places. Actually, I don't know if that's such a big thing anymore. I mean, countries used to fall, cities used to fall all over. Remember just a couple of months ago, we had the big, I don't know who got it, the Summer Games, but just a couple of months ago, they made the big tour. They came through Dallas. Dallas wanted it. Kansas City wanted it. I think Los Angeles got it. Or maybe they haven't made the decision yet. But those are all places. I mean, that's garbage. That is just, you could be in the Alps, man. You know, I remember the Sarajevo Winter Olympics. The Sarajevo Winter Olympics were like, people still say that those were one of the best Winter Olympics that had ever been done. And then a year later, the Bosnian War broke out and, things went bad.
Whoops.
But at least it was in the mountains and with pine trees everywhere and, these beautiful European winter roads. It looked like a winter wonderland. This is not, this is like Cleveland. This is like, let's do the Winter Olympics. And that's, not even Cleveland. I'm sorry. This is Gary, Indiana. This is like, let's
yes.
have the freaking Olympics.
Sandusky, Ohio.
Yes. Where's the other place? In Ohio, that's a real piece of garbage.
Toledo?
Nah.
Oh, man, throw a rock, you'll hit all of them.
Yeah, no. This is the place. Where was Dean Martin from? The place that Youngstown. This is
Youngstown. Okay.
This is awful. Good Lord. Actually, we're being cruel because there are no places in America that are this bad. They're not. This is their show place. And it's as bad as the worst thing that we have here in America.
Okay, so in 2024, the Summer Olympics are going to be in Paris. 2026 Winter Olympics are going to be in Milan Cortina. Is that Milan, Italy?
That's going to be beautiful. That's going to be good.
It's one of the most beautiful cities with a rich artistic history of all time.
Oh, my God.
In 2028, you were right, Los Angeles. They come back to Los Angeles.
All right, they must have got it. And LA is beautiful. LA is beautiful. I mean, look, they're going to stay away from the parts of LA that nobody goes to. And I'm talking about the areas just south of downtown.
Dude, even Compton has more color than Beijing.
It's beautiful. I mean, you don't want to get caught on the street, but I'm telling you, it's beautiful.
Bro,
this
sunshine. And this is Beijing. This is like the best city they got.
No, it's a trash heap. That entire country is a horrible trash heap. All right, that has been your Olympic update for tonight here on the Pugs and Parker Show. Do you have anything else? I did want to ask you one thing, though, before we lose you, because I know I'm going to lose you. This is a thing that has been trending for the last couple of days, and I talked about it at the end of today's show, and I wanted to get your take on it, because it's been one of my favorite threads to follow. So this is a minister named Brian Suave who posted this yesterday, and he has just been getting destroyed. The hashtag Dear Brian has been trending for almost 2 days now, and it's still trending. Brian Suave, a pastor who and let me describe him to you. He's his profile picture. He looks to be about 30, young 30s. He's a pastor. He's wearing like a rock concert T-shirt with a sport coat over it. He's got a Mumford and Son beard. You know, he's got one of these big hipster beards because he's a cool pastor. You know, like that whole thing. And here's what he wrote. He wrote, "Dear ladies, there is no reason whatsoever for you to post pictures of yourself in low-cut shirts, bikinis, bra, and underwear, or anything similar ever. Not to show your weight loss journey, not to show your newborn baby, not to document your birth story. Signed, your brothers." And this dude has been getting dragged with "Dear Brian" responses from like every radical feminist and every white knight type guy, you know, the white knight type who wants to insert himself so that he looks like, you know, I'm with women, you know, that whole thing. So what do you think about that? Because I said earlier today, I feel him. I mean, I get what Brian's saying. I would
Leslie, calm down. Oh my God. See, this is exactly why I like the post, is because it riles up the right people who deserve it. If you're that uptight about some guy asking you to not look like a sex symbol, relax. His intentions are good, so he's a little stodgy and prudish.
It's like steeped in the patriarchy. It is steeped.
Yeah, that's right. It's steeped in the patriarchy. Yeah, right.
It truly is. But I don't necessarily disagree with him. I would never be so bold as to commit that to a tweet and send it out. Like anybody cares what I fucking think. But I do roll my eyes when I see these girls, you know, the whole thirst trap thing where the girls, you know, are like, this is my new bikini. How's it look? And because they just want, you know, 2,000 desperate guys to go, darling, I think you look fantastic. You know, like all of the white knights to come out. I roll my eyes.
He doesn't get to tell women to do anything. Yeah, well, you get to tell him to not say that. Shut up. Shut up. See, this is the reaction I love. This is why I'm glad he did it. Of course, you can't tell him to do anything. How about that? How about you don't control what he does and says? No, it only goes one way because he said something that offended you. Good. I'm glad. I disagree with him totally, but I'm glad he posted it because it bothers all the right people.
That's kind of how I feel. Yeah. And it's why I love.
Look, first off, I'm not sure if he did this on purpose, but
no, he's morally grandstanding. He's a preacher, and he's trying to, you know, he's trying to appeal to his flock. Where he's
first off,
shame.
I mean, is he a legit preacher, or is he like a performance artist who just found his niche in the church? You know, I'm not saying like he's a heretic or he's a con man, but first off, he is being destroyed. Like people are showing him by sending beautiful pictures of themselves in cleavage and in bras and panties and naked, just like covering up their nipple with their hand. And like, really, this is how you're burning him? Because I saw this post earlier today and I was rolling through the comments, getting all hot and bothered. Because really, it is the greatest thread. If you just want to see everyone showing off. Oh, really? Do I look bad? Well, too bad. Well, take this. And it's a picture of their cleavage. It's like, I guess you showed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, that's disgusting. Where is it? You know, like.
So here's the deets, as the kids say, on Brian Suave, Christian pastor, husband, father of 5, and classical school founder, making music for the new Christendom at. And then it's got his Patreon if you want to support his musical. I told you,
Patreon.
He's like one of these
Patreon is suspicious.
But no, he seems, I mean, he's legitimate insofar. Well, he's not a blue check. He's not verified by Twitter or anything. He's got 10,000 followers. So, you know.
Well, look, his message it's coming from a good place. You know, you've pointed out that not only are they good old friends, but they're like the same age. But the only difference between them is branding. They're super rich. They're super beautiful. But one of them is Paris Hilton, and the other one's Ivanka Trump, or what's the younger one? Yeah, the daughter Trump. No, not Tiffany. Ivana
Trump.
No.
Tiffany.
Yeah, not the mom. What's the daughter's? The mom's Ivana and the daughter's Ivanka, right?
Mom
I'm sorry.
Is Ivana, daughter is Ivanka.
Okay, yeah. So Ivanka Trump and Paris Hilton are like buddies, and they've been buddies going way back. And they're both like, beautiful blondes with a lot of plastic surgery and rich daddies with a big fat name that's right next to theirs. And they had the chance to take the exact same path, but one chose to go the sexy route and the other one chose to go sort of the businesswoman.
Ice princess route.
Right. And so he's just encouraging women to take that road, the Ivanka road instead of the Paris road. Now, I totally disagree with him. Like, I think
probably a really good lay, and the other one's probably a cold fish. They're both beautiful, but there are two kinds of sexual experiences with women like that.
There's also like you sleep with beautiful girls and they're nothing because they've never had to try, and then the uptight ones, you finally get them in bed and they rip your head off. There's counter examples, but you're probably right. The point is I think the pastor's heart was coming from a good place. If he's not a charlatan, which I don't know him well enough to know if he's just a performance artist or he's like legit into theology and trying to spread the word of God. But, it's kind of good advice. You can't go wrong. No one's ever going to pull up a picture of you,
not
in a
place.
Well, he's allowed to have an opinion and you can dismiss his opinion. Just like it.
I am.
Okay. Well,
but no, you're right.
I disagree. Look, let me. I'm just saying I disagree with him, but he can say it. I can disagree with him and still it's the Voltaire. Like, he has the right to say that if he wants. He has the right to encourage women to behave in a way that he thinks would make them more successful and less susceptible to like if you're going to get this job and it's between you and this other chick, but they find pictures of you with like sex toys in your mouth on Twitter or whatnot, that that might have some negative consequences. And there's not a whole lot of negative consequences to you covering up in a business suit and looking a little more classy. I disagree with him. Again, I disagree with him, but I think that the advice comes from a good place. And one of the main reason I disagree with him is because if I was a beautiful woman, I'd be doing that constantly. So I can't criticize women who do that or want to do that or think it's okay to do that, because I think it's okay to do that, and I would be one of the thirst traps on Twitter. I wouldn't be able to help myself.
Here is why I wanted to bring this up to you. Because whereas you disagree with him, but think that he should be able to say that, I disagree with him and can't believe he had the balls to say that. I mean, I kind of look at that and go, yeah, man, I don't like when girls do that either, but I'm never going to say it, and I'm never going to tell them they shouldn't, because that's just my own personal opinion. And, who gives a shit what I say? What I think is so funny about this is that he felt that he had a place. He felt that he had some sort of a platform where he's giving advice. I don't know if there was a point when he was typing this that he thought it would be well received by some, but it has not been. It has been just one ass-kicking tweet after another. Here's what he says. So far, over 20 million people have seen my Twitter feed. Several major news outlets have published an explicit presentation of the gospel from my tweets. And Beth Moore outed herself yet again as a dangerous false teacher of the word of the Lord. The Lord writes the best story. So he's all right.
That sounds like crap.
He has benefited from this.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's so funny.
It's called sexism. That's right. Is it sexism when a girl has an opinion about the way men should behave, or is that a one-way street? Because that's where I'm calling BS. It's not. Guys are allowed to have an opinion on what they think would be a better behavior pattern for females. We're not like excluded from having an opinion on that simply based on our gender. That's sexism, saying we can't have it. We're only allowed to have an opinion on male issues. Does that work for you too? Or can you tell him what to do? Can you tell guys what to do and what guys can and can't talk about? Because that is sexism. Huh?
I don't know. I said women have been trying for years to tell men. Men don't listen. They don't
get criticized for telling us. Then it's like, you should listen to her because women know.
I don't know if it's sexism. It's ill-advised. I mean, it's
bad PR for sure. I wouldn't.
Shut up, man. Nobody cares about your opinion. Okay, you do what I do when I see a girl who is obviously exploiting herself, and that's what a lot of them are willing to do. A lot of them are doing. Look at the sexy poses, and look, I love beautiful women, so I'll look at it and I'll go, okay, but I am not going to fall into the thirst trap, which is what they want. What they want is a bunch of strange men that they've never seen before to say things like, you look beautiful, darling. They just want to see how many white knights they can get to come out. So I roll my eyes at that and I go, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I wouldn't necessarily respect if a friend of mine, a female woman, was doing that, and so obviously the way he seems to be commenting on the women who do it so obviously. Now, where I do disagree, I mean, I wouldn't respect a friend who did that. I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, you're better than that. You're a sexy woman. Why would you do
You're
that?
not allowed to tell women how to dress.
I would say that to her friendly. What I do disagree with that he says here is that we don't care about your birth story, or if we're talking about a woman who's just had a baby and she's proud of, how hard she's worked to get back into what she considers shape or whatever. That's different. That's different than the girls that are like, hey, I'm trying on bikinis on my, TikTok feed. I hate that. It's like, oh, stop it.
Yeah, it's obvious what they're doing, but you know what?
Right.
It works and good for them. And if that's the best card they have to play, and I'm not saying that they're reduced to just being hot. A lot of these girls, there's nothing wrong with being beautiful and talented and hardworking and, like prompt and courteous and all these other positive traits, and also hot. Why would you? I wouldn't want a woman who's otherwise beautiful to deny themselves the benefits of being beautiful. Like, notice how there's no fat chicks on CNN or MSNBC or Fox News or hosting Entertainment Tonight or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you can think of exceptions, but for the most part,
I've actually heard CNN's Breonna Keeler talk about this, how she considers herself to be the heaviest woman in cable news, and she's a stunner. She is a gorgeous woman, but she is a little bit. I mean, she's beautiful. I mean, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be like, baby, get on the treadmill. But I'm sure that compared to some of the waifish, super thin girls that are there, yeah, she probably is a large size. She probably shops at Lane Bryant. She is a larger woman. So I have heard her talk about that, about how she's considered, and she doesn't consider herself fat, and no one in America would consider herself fat, but by the standards of television, yeah, she is like considered the fat lady on television. Wait, I did have a point that I wanted to make here about all this, but I seem to have lost it. It was a point that I felt would redeem some of my earlier comments.
Yeah, I also like John is saying, it sounds like Sybil, confident and beautiful. Yes. Yeah, and Sybil's a great example. Sybil does the thirst traps, but she should. It enhances her job. It enhances her career. That's part of it. It's a positive. Why would you not, use that to your advantage? Because it works. It works. And I like looking at beautiful women. Thank you very much. So thank you for not letting yourself go off and be mediocre or even worse, ugly.
I think Leslie doesn't know what I'm into. She says Pugs likes thin gals for sexy time. I've said a number of times on this show that right now I think the sexiest woman on TV is Joy Taylor, and Joy Taylor is a big woman. Joy Taylor is she's voluptuous. That's like one of the first things you see, but she's a thick gal. I don't like skinny women. I like women with a body. I like women with curves. I like. Do I got to show you Joy Taylor? I'm always looking for an excuse to show Joy Taylor.
Well, look, I've got Breonna Keeler. If you want to pull up my screen over here, I can just do this.
Yeah. There's Breonna. There she is. That's actually
Bro, that looks like my wife. That's exactly how my wife's built, and no one would ever call her fat. So she's a bad example.
No. What this picture is a bad example. This is Breonna Keeler from years ago. Breonna Keeler is heavier than that. She's that's a very good picture of Breonna Keeler.
Okay.
Breonna Keeler has had a couple of babies, and she's got some baby weight, and she's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I know what I wanted to say about people being uptight about women and all that stuff. So there's a commercial that is airing. I see it on CNN, and I've also seen it on where else have I seen it? I don't know, but it is I don't even know what the commercial is for, but it talks about how the most beautiful sound in the world is a baby suckling, right? And so the whole commercial is just a baby going, suckling, right? And the original commercial had a baby at his mother's breast, and people got so bent out of shape about it that they reshot the computer, and now it's a baby with a bottle. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's not like they were showing nipple or anything. It was a baby in a mother's arms, totally covered up, and you could hear the baby. But because
what are they advertising again?
I don't know. I love the commercial so much. I love the sound. It's such a beautiful.
Well, are
sweet-
they selling like a Ford F-150, or are they selling like Bath and Body Works candles? Or I mean, this
I really don't
context
know.
matters, Pugs. Because if it's gratuitous, then yeah, you should probably take it out. But if you're selling like Pampers or something, that makes sense.
I really don't know what they're. Okay, so here's
Spark
a good one.
plugs. That's a good one.
What did he say?
Selling spark plugs.
Yeah, spark plugs. Okay, so here's Joy Taylor. That's Joy Taylor.
Oh yeah.
She's and that's also she looks good there.
Dude,
but,
she's not fat at all. Again,
well,
she looks like that's what my wife's body looks like.
She's a little thicker than your average waifish girl on. Well, there she is. But she's Jason Taylor's sister. Her brother was a defensive end.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So she's a bigger girl. She's got big thighs. She's got big hips. She's got big breasts. She's a larger. But that's I love her, and she is so smart, and she is so funny, and she is so quick witted. I love her.
All right.
Okay. All right. We done here?
Yeah. What does John Hinckley think?
Let's play us out with some John Hinckley. I gotta get the dog. The dog is barking like an asshole out on the back porch, and this kind of stuff does not fly at this time of night. Fucking dog. Oh my God.
Effing dog.
Hold on. James, say goodbye to everybody. I'm just gonna shut up. They're probably. It's too late for this fucking. I can't wait for Spotify to load up. I gotta get the dog. God damn it. Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm just going to leave you hanging, folks.
Get in here.
Leslie, I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. Guys are allowed to have an opinion about women's looks, even if you disagree with it, even if they're wrong, which I think he was wrong. But you need to calm down. It's not like men aren't allowed to have a say-so. Of course we can have a say-so. Allowed to have an opinion on anything I want. Thank you very much. Here. Let's see. I'm trying to find a good picture of the wife so you can see that she's identical to these chicks. I'll show you tomorrow. Later, y'all. Oh, no, he's back now.
I apologize. Boy, that was the dog wouldn't come because E was in the big house screaming for her to come to him, and I was up here screaming for her to come to me. Oh, God, this dog is such an asshole.
Yeah, the dog that bit me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That dog sucks.
I told the story. I had to punch the dog in the face on Sunday because my son was wearing my sweater, and my son was wrestling with the dog, and the sweater was really long on my kid's arms. And she jumped up and she started pulling on the sweater, right? Like getting real aggressive with it. And she went to get a better grip on the sweater. This is a dog who sleeps cuddled up with my son. Like the dog will lay out, like they're good friends. There's no fear. But then the dog let go to try and get a better grip on the sweater and caught his arm and bit him on the arm. And I jumped off the couch and I punched the damn thing right in the, it's a big dog. It's a muscular dog. And it's just got an aggressive streak. I mean, somebody better break into this property because I'm telling you, all of this stuff that this dog is working towards is going to go to waste if she doesn't get to,
maul somebody. Yeah.
Maul a burglar or somebody.
Yeah. The scab on my thigh just healed, finally went away like a week ago.
No, she bit your foot. She bit your thigh too?
No, she bit my foot at Thanksgiving. She bit up here on my hip when I came back for Christmas.
She bit you twice?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That dog loves me. Oh, and look, I was going to show Leslie, the wife, to so she can calm down a little bit to see what team I'm on as far as women bodies go. My wife's the one on the right in the burgundy. Thank you very much.
Oh, she's a woman.
Yeah, she's
built like a woman.
Yeah.
But she's also had 40 kids that you put into her. So, you reap what you sow, young man. That is, you did that. That is all you.
No, I'm fine with that. That's my jam. That's what what I was going for.
All right. Yeah, I can't watch 2 more episodes of Outlander, Jeff, and I'll tell you why. Because I've ripped through 6 of the 8 episodes that posted of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I didn't know that the new season posted on Hulu, and I spent the
Oh
afternoon.
crap! What season are they on? Like 12?
15.
God,
15, yeah.
I'm way behind. I stopped watching after like 7.
Oh, you got to catch up. So I ripped through the first 6 episodes. They're 20 minutes each. It was only 2 hours. So it was like watching a movie this afternoon. I'm still nursing a cold, so I'm not really doing much. Jesus. All right. So and Spencer, you know, the Diana Spencer movie that posted on Hulu too. And I guess there's he left. There he goes. So I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch Spencer tonight before I go to bed. After I scream at this stupid dog who I love so much, but there's nothing worse than a mean dog. She's a mean dog. She's a mean dog to everybody except me, E's son, and my son, and E's wife. That's it. Those are the only. Everybody else, this dog is an absolute Catahoula's. They are troublesome. They are a troublesome breed. And she thinks she's doing her job. She thinks that her job is to be the big badass in the yard and to patrol it for squirrels and birds. And she barks at airplanes and she barks at workmen. And she goes nuts with workmen. Like she froths at the mouth. She's like a hellhound. It's very scary. And then when you play with her, when she gets a little bit crazy, she'll never bite you because she knows that you're her friend. But she plays so aggressively. It's scary. And also, her breed has special claws because they climb trees. They chase like wolves and shit up trees in the bayous so they can climb trees. Not like a leopard kind of. So they got these big long claws. We call her CeeLo Scissor Paws. When I say we, that's me and my son. My son doesn't really call her that. He just repeats it because he doesn't know what Edward Scissorhands is. All right, folks. I love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow at noon, where we'll do the rundown on all the things that are happening. I hope you can join us. Thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. There you go. Y'all have a great night. I gotta go deal with this dog who now doesn't realize what she did wrong. She's looking at me right now. She's looking all sad with her floppy ears. She's like, what? I'm protecting everybody. Nah, you're not. We've got firearms for that. You're just supposed to be the family dog. Okay, bye everybody. Be well. See you tomorrow. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.